Back, friends. People are getting very impatient about today's budget, the impact, and the huge fall in the Nifty, almost 500 points. People are quite worried. What has triggered that to happen? What is the way forward? Apparently, we started the day well, right? We had given a call option, and fortunately, we all had people book the profits and get out, because I had given in my predictions a fall between 1 and 2. I was expecting some announcements which maybe the market would not like. But anyway, what really happened was this STT increase has spooked the markets, and this is purely from a capital market perspective. Rather than reduce, which most people were expecting, they have increased the STT on futures to 0.05% from 0.02%. So this is more than doubling really the STT on futures. And STT on options premium is increasing to 0.15% from 0.10%. So that's also almost a 50% increase, but futures is really phenomenally high. And then considering the volume of futures and options that are traded, right, this is going to amount to quite a good sum of money which the government is going to generate. Okay, so this has spooked the markets. People were expecting a reduction in STT. Instead, they've got a hike. Now, if you look at it from a pure economy perspective, it's good. There are many things they have done. They maintained a part of fiscal prudence. Fisc as a percentage of the GDP has been maintained well. All these things. So that all has done quite good. But what is troubling is, and they have tried to increase the capex. So the public capex, government capex is also on a higher part. They have tried to cut into many areas like data centers, semiconductors, fisheries, and they have even increased the PLI on washing machines, on microwaves and things like that. So all that is good. Now there is one argument. There are two things. You must be rather impatient and may have heard from many people. But there are two things. Many people think that all this can be helpful for the consumer durables sector, and they will benefit from this, all this. So it would be good for the consumer durable companies, also good for the data centers like TCS, like Anantraj Industries, right? These types of companies which are investing in data centers, good for the AI industry. But what I believe is that if you think that just by increasing the PLI, right, you're giving an incentive to the manufacturers, and then they will be able to price their products competitively and people will be able to buy, I don't think that's correct. In my video in the morning also, I made great effort to explain to you that the budget day itself is not the most important day. It's some like after few days after the budget is over, after it has been digested, because there's a lot of fine print, and I'll tell you some fine print now. Okay, so it's not that there is no fine print. It can be very, very prudent to understand that this budget is going to be far reaching in consequences more than what you imagine. Because if there is no effort to tackle or to soothe the capital markets, and let us say, for example, just assume, forget about my positivity over the near term that I've been telling you that the markets are expecting some good news, and I still think, although it will take some days for all that to materialize, assuming that the market just takes this budget as it is for the rest of the week, you're seeing an increase in STT. So that means brokers' margins will also get impacted because the trading volume will come down. all this is not very good. Sentiment is sour. People are not, लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है ये बजट का, ये जो all this news which came. Then what happens, a wealth effect comes if the market doesn't perform well. आज मेरी अगर wealth, if my wealth goes down, if my wealth is turning down, then I may buy less of microwaves, washing machines. So even if you increase the PLI, it's not going to help. Okay. So many who think that you should look from the economy point of view, not from the capital market point of view, I think they are wrong, because capital market is very, very important, and it is the mainstay of any economy. So you have to keep the capital markets very, very happy. Now, one thing that has come across as being very important, and you should know, is that whenever a budget comes in, and I told you in the morning that don't bank only on a budget, like wait for some days, because there are some important triggers which are expected, and they can have a very good impact on the budget. Now, and also there are some fine print. Now, for example, I'll tell you what. There is an important change which has come in the budget as far as my reading goes, that earlier there was a law which says that if an Indian intermediary, like a stockbroker, a commission agent, etc., he serves a foreign client, ठीक है, तो एक समझिए एक brokerage है who is working for some foreign investor, right? Then the services was treated as supplied in India, and 18% GST was applied, even though the client was overseas, ठीक है. So that led to higher costs, lower margins, and Indian brokers became uncompetitive globally. What has changed? Finance Bill 2026 deleted that clause, right? Now the rule is simple. Place of supply is equal to location of the foreign client, FPI. If the client is outside India, right, then the service is treated as an export. And if it is treated as an export, then there is zero GST. So which means that no 18% GST on eligible brokerage or intermediary services to FPIs. Indian brokers save big on taxes, margins improve instantly, and therefore you will find these are key positives for the FPIs. Lower transaction costs, more competitive Indian brokerage services, better access to Indian markets, and stronger ecosystem for foreign investors. So this ends a lot of litigation over the years and tax disputes worth thousands of crores, aligns India with a global destination based GST principles. Bottom line is that foreign portfolio investors benefit, Indian brokers benefit, because now when they are buying shares from an Indian broker, there'll be no GST. Okay, if there's no GST, then they can buy at a cheaper rate. All this STT is now levied on these Indian, in fact, in the institution, the retail investors. But for FPIs, there will be no GST on what they are buying. So this could be it could make India's capital markets very competitive globally, although they have not reduced the capital gains tax. But this provision can be helpful. It is a quiet but a powerful reform that is reading between the lines. I have gathered this, and it is one of the most meaningful indirect tax changes in recent years, because that provision which is there of that 18% GST has now been deleted. Okay, so this now no GST on the purchases of FPIs from Indian brokers. So there are some subtle changes which are helpful. I think the increase in STT may garner some revenue, but it is unnecessarily soured the sentiment. And in an environment when the market needed to be propped up, it has turned other way around. We can give good suggestions to the finance minister. I have personally done, but it is finally their call what they want to decide on the budget. I was expecting some more on gold, silver, and their monetization. Also on capital gains tax, because any reduction over there would have made good headline news, and that would have really helped. But anyway, markets may find this a little negative, all this, but I think in some days the market will settle down, and you will find that there are some new triggers will come at that point of time, including some fresh headlines pertaining to Indo-US tax treaty and so many things. It is just everything. And the reason I say all this is that today Trump says that India is going to now import oil from Venezuela rather than Iran. That means there's a lot of negotiations which is already in place. That means there are some positive news. It did not come from the budget, friends, but I told you that wait for headlines. Budget is not the only day in which you can make money. If you are smart, just wait for some more days. Just wait few more days. See how fresh triggers and headlines come. To get to know more, do join our Premium Plus, or the Union Budget package is still there. 10 more days I'll analyze properly and give you like this fine print and all that. You can join either Premium Plus, gives you 10 to 12 days predictions in advance and good stock and options recommendations. WhatsApp us on 982086144. Namaste, Jain.